sustainability plan submitted by the Vice President. But according to him, this package is meant to help set up the economy from the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. As we all know, it has really affected every sector of the country. And so the 2.3 trillion naira stimulus package is meant to help reshuffle and set everything straight, help private organizations, help entrepreneurs, even help small families who are not able to meet up with the demands of the present situations. What are your thoughts regarding this?
So, first of all, I think that I looked at it well, and in Nigeria, the biggest problem is trust, and I'm
Hmm.
surprised that the Shimbajo team did not look at that. I'll put that as priority.
Okay.
Um, so they had four options. This, X will reduce, will limit. Um, they had four options in terms of how much they can reduce um, recession, contraction, I would say.
Okay.
They set it for $2.3 trillion, and I've looked at the figures. And the first question I'm asking is, how do you even determine beneficiaries? Nigeria is
Hmm.
extremely political, and for me, when America created its first stimulus package, you could read two, three, 4 pages of document that summarized how this was going to play out. But here
How it will be spent.
you
Yeah.
have a 76-page document, and as big as it was still devoid of certain important facts. For example, you talk about helping. I think there's a 6 billion or so to help artisans, and I'm wondering, how do you determine which artisans to help? Is there a list? Is there a professional body that you're going to trust to get you that information? Um, they talk about over 600 billion for agric. To me, that's fantastic. We need agric. But who are going to be beneficiaries? How are we going to determine? Uh, how do we attract young people? Because for me, for you to really prosper for that agricultural strategy to help, you need to draft in young people, including educated people. You can't focus only on the rural community. You can't spend $600 billion, only for rural farmers. Because what has happened many times is that especially, there's always been something from the government for the farmers. It's even in Jonathan's tenure, and there's this Anchor Bora program
Okay.
also during the Buhari tenure that has helped a lot of farmers, much more from the north actually. But I don't really care about that. But if you want a package that is going to really be far-reaching, you need to think about educated young people. Now, how do you draft them in? How do you encourage them? How do you determine qualified people? I didn't see that in any of in the entire 76-page document. And you don't have to say a lot, but I think because trust is a big issue in Nigeria, it's probably the most important. When anybody sees 2.3 trillion, oh, people are going to say, oh, they want to steal our money again. They
I
want
want
to
to
share
steal the
our money
money.
again. So I think the most important thing you want to share is how do you even determine recipients? They talked about spending about, I think, 300 billion or so on solar energy for rural homes. And for me, I like that. But my question is, I think 240 billion, I'll say. But question, is there a strategy for government to recoup the money back, or you just want to dash solar panels,
Spend the
solar
money.
systems to homes in Nigeria? Now, solar works better in the north. Every solar engineer knows that. So what it means is that, and of course, apart from that, there are a lot more remote villages in the north. So for me personally, if I want to be fair, this is a project that will benefit northern
Benefits
villagers
the not alone.
far more than the southerners. That's a fact, unless we want to deceive ourselves. Now, are you going to just dash? And for this, if you're going to give out solar systems to 5 million homes, how do you determine the homes? What states? Now, then, if you give this to poor people, how are they going to pay you back? Are you? Let's know. I'm not against. If you want to dash them, let us know. Let it be clear that we're just giving it out. Now, if you're giving out 80% to the north and maybe 40% in the south, then are people not going to ask questions? You know. Now, so those are things that were not answered to me. And then how does providing 240 billion naira solar to villages across Nigeria, how does it help to jumpstart the economy? Now, if you're able to commit to manufacturing those products in Nigeria, fine. But I didn't see anything in the document that said uh, we will make it compulsory, I mean, or mandatory for the solar devices to be manufactured in Nigeria. Now, I saw things like encourage. That's not what. If you make it mandatory, then it makes sense. Okay, you can say that. You can say that. Well, it's going to create manufacturing jobs for the period, and it's going to create installation jobs. So for me, I didn't see any of that. I looked at healthcare. I didn't see specifics, and you don't have to write a lot. You don't need 76 pages. I think you can create. Because the question I asked myself is: this 76-page document, is it for public consumption or for internal consumption? If it's for public consumption, it means that um, everybody can see it. But do you really need to show me a 76-page document that does not even provide these
Say
details?
anything.
That doesn't provide these details I've talked about. So there are a lot of details they put there that I think the public doesn't need to know about. But the important things that the public wants to know about, I didn't see them, and I'm surprised. Sometimes I'm wondering if people like the vice president really read this report, because if he read it by himself, he should know that there will be concerns from people. The questions I'm asking are not, you know, big questions. I'm asking simple questions that an
Salient questions. Yeah.
averagely educated person in Nigeria would ask,
Would
and
ask.
I'm tempted to think that it's just going to be another largesse. People are just going to steal the money, because that you have an
Okay.
explanation that you have an explanation doesn't mean you're going to do it well. But it starts from
Yes. Yes.
having a strategy to be able to properly spend this money, and to be able to spend it in a way that Nigerians will trust you. But if you don't even have anything like that, how are you going to spend it appropriately? Go ahead.
Okay. I was in a discussion yesterday with some set of people, and the farmer
I can't hear you. I think you're freezing. Hello, can you hear me?
sector doctors wanted to go on strikes at this time. And then a farmer said he got a call from a government official that some amount of money would be sent to him to aid his famine, and he thought, well, this money that have been sent to farmers, why aren't they sent to the health workers who are at the front line of fighting the pandemic? So he said it was like a a shift in priority, like the government has not set its priorities right.
Well, I think we need to help the farmers. Whether we like it or not, what is going to save Nigeria is agric. I've always said that everywhere. I mentioned in my book also, Nigeria needs to understand that what will save us is not oil; it's going to be agric. Within this COVID period, a lot of farmers have lost money. Pigs have died. A lot of chickens have died. People have lost a lot of money. So we have to help the healthcare sector, but we also have to help the farmers. My own view is, of course,
Okay.
I think at this time health is number one, clearly. But I'm not against helping farmers. I just think that it has to be more transparent. And people have to know
Okay.
exactly how to determine how the money is spent and how to determine recipient. Now, one other point:
Okay.
how do you even for people to even how do you even promote the information? How do you let people know that they can get access to these funds? You
This
put up a
funds.
76-page document, you put it on newspapers. A lot of
I
people,
expect people to read it.
yeah, a lot of people are going to be qualified, but they don't even know how to. to access. Now I know this is still preliminary. It's not signed. It's 2.3 million bill. Let me make that point clear. It's not approved yet. I think it's still a preliminary. It's more like a recommendation to the federal government.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
but there a lot of things are ongoing already. There's a lot of so-called stimulus that CBN has approved right now, and I'm hearing people are getting money. But for me, we need to take care of the trust issue. So to answer your question, I agree. Health is number one. I think it's still more important than agri, but I'll put
Okay.
agri as number two after healthcare at this time.
Thing that I want us to look at is the fact that um,
I can't hear you. Hello.
this plan in the expansion of the social intervention programs such as the Empower and the Trader Money, which have already impacted about 12 million Nigerians. Now, these social intervention programs have been considered by the public as was considered by the public as a means of vote by 19 elections when everyone, every political party was campaigning, and then the government introduced Npower and trader money. And now the vice president is saying part of the money will be to support the social intervention programs. That's kind of conflicted to me.
So for me, I will always support any social program because I care a lot about the poor. I'm writing, I'm saying, I'm doing all this because I care much more about the poor than the middle class. So I would always support any social intervention program. And
Okay.
I'm not one of those people who say that it's only good for vote buying. No, I don't care about that. I care about the people. Uh, for me,
Okay.
we just need to make it more transparent. We just need to make it more transparent and make it
Hmm.
uh, let more people.
Hmm.
Let's be fair with the disbursement. What is
Well, pardon me, pardon me. Let me cut you short. You said you don't support people who think it is an act of vote buying. Well, few months ago, there were reports of beneficiaries of this social intervention programs who said they've stopped collecting money, like uh, they were not getting the funds that they used to get as at the time when the brouhaha of elections was everywhere.
Well, again, I'm not saying the implementation is perfect. I agree that it's not right to wait until few weeks or months to election before giving people money, but it's still better to give than not to give.
Not to
That's
give
my
at all.
exactly. Now, it's law. They didn't do anything wrong. The Senate passed it. It was appropriation. It was properly appropriated. So the
Okay.
government didn't do anything wrong. This is money that was passed. Properly appropriated. They waited until election time to give out some of the money. That's not good, but
Okay.
it still doesn't mean vote buying. They've worked according to the law. However, I think we
Okay.
need to focus more on implementation. Let's find a way to make it mandatory for government to,
Yeah.
to do it before election. Don't wait until 1 2 months election before doing what you're supposed to do. That's what we should be talking about. I've heard some economists, some very educated people saying things like it's wrong, it's not good for the economy. I don't want to mention names, but I'm wondering because these are guys that are professors, lived abroad. I'm like, hey, it happens everywhere in the world. There's social intervention, in Europe, in America. There's